Guys, hey, I'm back. Did you guys miss me yesterday? I missed you guys. I missed you all, but I'm back. And I'm back with another topic. As you guys can see the thumbnail in the background here, I wanted to discuss the Michael Jackson 2000 interview that he had with 60 Minutes, right kind of like in the thick of everything when it happened. But before I get off into that, hopefully you guys can see MJ and my big head is not blocking it too much. But for those of you guys who are new to my channel and just catching this, please do subscribe, hit the bell. So anytime any new content is uploaded, you'll be the first to know. And hopefully you could join me on the next live, right? Because you'll get that little ding notification. And for those of you all who are returning viewers, subscribers, you're not new to this, you're true to this. Appreciate you so much. So, wanted to cover this. This is a topic that, let me give Jay his credit. This is a topic that one of my subscribers, also moderator, had said was a good idea for me to watch it, review it, and then also I believe that comment was left in the comment section and was also pinned for other people, other subscribers, other viewers to also check out some of the suggested videos. So, man. This, I don't really even know where to start with this other than I think it's very, I almost want to say strange, but not really strange because we know how media works, right? But Michael Jackson's interview with Martin Bashir got so much coverage, right? That same year, Michael Jackson also released his footage because when that Martin Bashir interview was taking place, he also had his own cameraman that was also documenting that, right? And Michael Jackson and his cameraman said that it was not any surprise. It was not, done covertly or secretly, nothing like that. Like Martin Bashir was aware of it. But anyway, that same year, 2003, is when the earlier half of that year is when the Martin Bashir, very infamous interview with Michael Jackson, when that took place. A little bit after that, Michael Jackson released the footage that you weren't intended to see, you weren't intended to watch. And it really showed the real, full, unedited interview. And it was such a hack job, as we know, that Martin Bashir did in editing out a lot of content, a lot of responses that Michael Jackson had to a lot of the questions, right? That really gave you the full on. And then later on toward the end of the year, but this is after already, the big upheaval and court trials and all that, or I should say this interview actually took place in December. It actually took place on Christmas Day, 2003, end of the year. And this did not, at least to my knowledge, because I didn't know about it until, my subscriber had mentioned it. I didn't know about this interview. And, I say that with a little bit of shame because I know a lot of my, a lot of my subscribers, viewers, you guys are not new to this. You're true to this. And when I'm talking about with MJ, so a lot of the content, interviews and stuff like that, you guys are very familiar with. Like I say, I am a content creator who also happens to be a Michael Jackson fan, but I'm by no means an expert. So also, I hope you guys can hear me okay. Mic check 1, 2. Hope that wasn't too loud in anybody's ears. I hope you guys could hear okay. But anyway, like I say, I'm in no way, shape, or form any kind of expert. So a lot of times when you guys suggest content for me to review and provide a reaction to, some of it maybe I've seen, a lot of it maybe not. And this was one that I was not aware of. But I just think that it's sad that this was an interview. Michael Jackson was extremely candid in this interview, yet it did not receive a whole lot of coverage. It just did not. Or I should say I was not I don't recall, like, I'm not aware of it. I say it with a little bit of shame, but I was not aware of this interview. But it was just kind of sad. It was sad because Michael Jackson, I think he was incredibly honest, very candid in this interview, and really just saying the whole, he gave the whole backlash, everything post that Martin Bashir hack job that was done. And, Michael Jackson, he describes about, how his home, how it was raided, and that Neverland would not, moving forward, Neverland, he would consider it a house, but not a home, and he did not plan to stay there. That he said that he planned on visiting, but they really tore up his home, looking, police and everything, looking for potential evidence. And he said that especially his bedroom was really destroyed, and that at the time of this interview, he had been back to Neverland, but he had not actually entered into his bedroom, and he had only heard from his staff just how badly, his home in general, because supposedly at the time when his home was raided, all of the staff and, I think it was said somewhere around he kept at least about 100 or nearly 100 staff members, circulating throughout Neverland. And at that time when the home was raided, all employees were pushed off the grounds, and, so I guess police could do their thing. And they just really destroyed a lot of his home. He said that his mattresses and things were ripped up, and just a lot of stuff. And that his office, his home office, that had been raided into as well. I don't want you to cry. Hey, Cedric, I don't want you to cry. But yeah, this is a rougher one. And if you have not checked it out, if you guys have not checked out this interview, watch for yourselves. In moving forward, I will have more lighter themed MJ content. We will do some trivia. Maybe we could even do like a, a shared going live, and I don't know, have like a sing off or something. I don't know. So moving forward, it will be more lighter MJ content. But if you love MJ, I mean, he came with the light and the dark. He had a lot of dark times that he was very strong through, that he lived through. And things weren't always, peaches and cream for him. He was the king of pop, and he, very rich man, a lot of privileges, so to speak, but he also endured a lot of ridicule, and just went through a lot of really hard times that, I think the average person, celebrity, regular person probably, I keep doing like this because I don't want to block MJ, but that the average person probably would not have been mentally tough enough to endure. So it just also gives you an idea just how strong and how tough MJ was. But also through this interview, now let me just back up for just a quick second. The interviewer, and you guys leave comments down below and let me know what you guys think. The interviewer, in my opinion, did not do a horrible job on MJ. Typically, usually, what I noticed from Michael Jackson interviews is that the reporters, the journalists are rather smug, usually ask a lot of really rude questions, and almost have the attitude like they're doing Michael Jackson a favor and interviewing him, when in reality it's reversed. That's what I always get a kick out of. And in reality, anybody who does or who had done an interview with Michael Jackson got some kind of boost in their career. They just did. Yet a lot of times when they would have sit downs with him, it was almost like the attitude of, can you guys see this okay? Can you guys see it? I feel like I need to duck down and pose and stuff. I don't know. But a lot of times they had this really smug attitude, like in some way they were doing him a favor, and would ask a lot of really like I mean, rude questions. Yeah, as reporters, they do have, I guess, the obligation to ask certain questions that are being, hey there, Riker, hey. All right. But yeah, a lot of times I think that they do have the journalistic obligation. What's up, Jay? Hey, hey. All right, we got my besties in the house, right? I'm gonna call y'all but besties. But anyway, but in this particular one, and you guys leave your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. For those of you all who have viewed the 60 Minutes one already, did you all think that the journalist, and I forgot his name, I probably should have written it down, but if you guys check out the full interview, you guys will see the guy. Did you guys think he did a horrible job in his style of interviewing with Michael? I didn't think he did it horrible. I know, you finally caught one. Yay. All right. He's back in the house. And then for those of you guys that check this live out when it isn't so live, you guys can always, sorry, I just got a notification. I don't know if the screen just went out or not. But for those of you all who actually check this live out later, you guys can always read the comments, all the live chat comments later. It does take a little bit though for the video to process. And then once it processes, then you guys should be able to check it out. And it also will be available in different languages. It just takes maybe about a day or two after the video processes for the closed captioning to be made available. So just be aware of that as well. Yeah, they usually do. They usually do. Riker just made a really good point that a lot of times interviewers do tend to ask the same types of questions to Michael Jackson. In this particular one, the guy that was doing the interviewing, he did highlight like some of the main subject matter, around Michael Jackson's arrest. Because at the time when Michael Jackson did this interview, he was actually out on bond. And this was just maybe a week or two, post his home being raided. But to get further into it, what I thought was so like horrible and disgusting about it is just how MJ was treated. I mean, human nature, everyone I think has a tendency to kind of, regardless of whatever, we make our own minds up about certain things. We have our own perception. It's what it is. And Michael Jackson, according to what he said and the pictures that were shown, was treated really, really illy, horribly by the police department at that time. He showed pictures where his arm was really swollen and really badly bruised. Okay, you felt that way, huh, Jay? I didn't know that. So Jay was saying, for those of you guys, that may not be reading the chat, at least this is, I believe, what all know with the fluorescent lights. But I believe Jay was saying that MJ had already been interviewed by this guy before in the past during the bad era, and that in this particular one, you felt, Jay, that the interviewer had already kind of made up his mind. My perception was that I do feel like the interviewer made up his mind in terms of feeling that MJ making the statements he made were strange. I think in that particular, the Thriller era. Okay, I'm sorry. Not the bad era, you guys, but the Thriller era is when, if you guys do your research, you guys can maybe catch an interview that MJ did with the guy that interviewed him on this. To me, my perception of it was that I think that the interviewer, like most people, did make up his mind that the answer that MJ gave about, sleeping in the bed was not a normal answer. I didn't per se get that he felt that MJ was guilty. I don't know. Did you guys feel that way? You felt that way, Jay, that he felt that he was guilty? Okay. So maybe that's what it was. But I thought that, in comparisons to MJ's previous interviews with Bashir, even before that with Oprah, Barbara Walters, I thought in comparisons, I didn't think that this interviewer, was too savage. But like you say, he probably did have to be careful with the type of questions. I know MJ did have to be careful with what he chose to go into like description about, like even as far as how he was handled, by police and all that. Like I know during that interview there were certain, things that MJ said he did want to go into detail about, or he could go into detail about. But I just thought that was disgusting, how he was treated. I mean, clearly we could say that, if what MJ said was true in the pictures, and this was right behind him being arrested and all of that. I mean, those pictures showed fresh bruises that were like really bad, you guys, really bad. You can still see the swelling. MJ said that his shoulder was like dislocated and that he was in a lot of pain. And that during that whole, I guess, intake process, or I guess that's what it's called, intake process, that, with the fingerprinting and all that he had asked to use the restroom and they told him where to go. And that when he went into the restroom, they had locked him in there. And MJ had pointed out that it was an especially disgusting bathroom that looked like, I guess, on purpose. And it sounds like if what he said was true, that he was locked in there for 45 minutes, that, there was like feces thrown all over the walls and that it was just really, really disgusting. And they would not let him out. He said that every time he would ask to be let out, they would say, okay, give me a minute. And it would be like 15 more minutes, 20 more minutes. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yep. Jay is making some excellent points in the chat. Yep. And so is Riker. Yep, they both are. So you guys that check this out later, please do just hit that little tab that says live chat and you guys can see exactly where it's at. But Jay and Riker are both making really good points that really that it was a media witch hunt. A lot of people, regardless of the outcome of the trial or the pending trial, a lot of people had already made up their minds as to how they felt, and that they felt that MJ was guilty and treated him just really bad. And like Riker was saying, like I was saying, that MJ says that he was taunted and treated very poorly, very badly while he was there, which is really sad. But one thing I can say for now versus then that I think is positive, but I do feel like is kind of being threatened, is that one thing I'm happy about. Back in the day, I don't think it was as many outlets, as many channels for us to take in information. It wasn't a lot of different, sources for us to pull from when we wanted to find out about like what happened, No, I haven't. I have not. Is that the one? Because Riker right now, he just asked if I had seen the interview with MJ's maid. But I think that was one. I haven't checked it out yet. And I was kind of going back and forth if I even really wanted to. Just tell me this much, Riker. Was it her like saying like negative stuff? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to avoid it. And I'm not trying to be one-sided. Okay. Yeah. Jay was saying, yeah, that may, because so many people have been approached and, this is what I'm just saying, and I know it's allegedly, but I have heard in other sources that a lot of people that had contact, right? I believe that, yeah. A lot of people that have had, very close contact with MJ, a lot of those people were approached and made aware of like, okay, well, if you say this or you say that, if you say this or you say that, when people see Michael Jackson, a lot of people see dollar signs, or I should say when people saw Michael Jackson, a lot of them saw the opportunity to, get money. If they could be part of some type of class action lawsuit, or to say that they had exclusive content, or, they know something that other people don't know and they're willing to sit down, just like MJ had said in this interview. He said that money is the root of all evil, and then he said that the love of money, and yeah, people could get really greedy, and it's just sad. Yeah, MJ mentally was so, he just so raw dog and so like tough, mentally tough. Like that would have been enough. MJ had gone through so much stuff. I think, many celebrities, many people would have been broken way before. Like he's tough. No, he didn't deserve any of that stuff. And even with his accuser at that time, he still kept a good attitude. He was still saying like, no, I know that he has a good heart. He's a good spirited, young boy, and I know that it's probably just, maybe his parents telling him to say whatever. Kids will do what their parents tell them to do. And I believe, if it wasn't so much that people would have to gain from alleging certain things, then, maybe, but people had way too much to gain from it. And but just to go back to the point that I had before, like I was saying, can you guys still see MJ? I feel like I'm like awkwardly blocking him. But the point I was saying about now versus then is that back in the day, there were certain, media outlets or certain journalists that could write whatever, and then by them putting on whatever tagline or, just these main sources that everyone would go to when they wanted to find out, well, what happened or what someone said. And it's so easy for people to provide their opinion, because that's really what it is. Journalism is just still a provided opinion. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, she thought there was, oh, no. Yeah, that sounds like some rough stuff. I'm kind of like, not that I can't hear anything that opposes, because how I feel is for people that catch this, yeah, he was. He really, really was. I think he was very good-hearted, extremely good-hearted. And it's just sad, because a lot of that he did not deserve. He just didn't. And the reporter had actually asked a good question. But yeah, Riker, that's some tough content. Like, I'm not open to hearing anything that opposes it at all. But it's just, it's rough. And then a lot of people, because their opinion's already made up, will take something that someone says and run with it. And that's all that you hear. That's why I was so shocked with this 2003 interview. This was the same year as Bashir. This was the same year as his, the Bashir interview, the footage he didn't want you to see, like that, which also didn't get much coverage. This, they said, this aired on Christmas Day. And they said that this actually did not get that much coverage either. So just sad. Like, I just feel like, a lot of what we take in is already kind of pre-shaped. It's not that I don't want to hear like what the maid has to say, but it's just like people have so much to gain from saying negative things. Even the boy who was, his accuser initially said no. And it was the mom that kind of, oh, no, don't be sorry, Riker. No, don't be sorry. Matter of fact, I'm glad that you put it in the chat for other people that do want to check it out. I'm just kind of I don't want to say I'm a wuss, but some of that stuff to me is just a little too rough. It's a little too rough, probably for me to watch. Hearing those type of like details and stuff. But I just think, like I say, I don't give it too much credit to begin with. On top of it being something like that's a little hard for me to digest, even hearing some stuff like that. That's horrible. But I'm glad that you put it in the chats, Riker, because for other people, I think that this is what going live is all about. So it's not just me talking. I like to hear what you guys have to say. I like for you guys to share things in the chat for other people who do want to investigate a little bit further. Because I believe in not just taking one source, but taking many different sources. And then from that, developing your own opinion about certain things based off several different sources. So I'm glad that you're actually sharing that, Riker. You did I'm glad that you did one thing to say. Yes, he did. Okay. Yeah, I am glad too. Oh, I didn't know that. So Jay was saying that a lady had released the doves at his not guilty. Yeah, I'm glad that he had supporters there too. MJ really seemed like he appreciated his fans. It seems like for most celebrities, once you get to a certain status, you have so many, you have millions and millions and millions. Can you really value them? And, not to sound naive or whatever, but MJ seemed like he really valued his fans. He really valued his supporters. Yeah. Yep. Good point too, Jay. And again, like I say, you guys check out the live chat. If you watch this later, do check it out. But one thing too, I was thinking like, oh yeah, wait, before I get off into that, because I'm kind of all over the place right now, but just about how there's diversified media sources today that were not really in existence back then. So if you had like, one or two media sources that decide, major media companies or whatever that decide that they want to shut you out or not cover you, you just don't get covered. Back in the day, there wasn't the platforms that we have available today like it was back then. But even now, we're still kind of undergoing a lot of censorship and the elimination of platforms. So it's kind of rough still, but it's better than it was back then. The boy. I'm sorry. I'm the fluorescent. Yeah. Yeah, I think the boy was lying. I think that he did get pressure from his family to provide a certain narrative, because initially he was asked several times and he said, no, nothing at all. No funny business, nothing like that. And then the mom had like reopened it, saying that she felt that potentially her son had been served alcohol while at Neverland and da. And that's really what, everything. But I don't think, I agree with you, Riker. The more she has a short film. Very sweet. Other artists. Yeah, he did. He did always hold his fans up really high. Yes, he did. Oh. I didn't know that about One More Chance. Yeah. So, like I say, I just thought that aside from how MJ was treated, which was super bogus, and just brutal, because if you guys saw, I don't mean just like, oh, that's red. I mean, like, he had like black and blue bruises, and his arms were swollen up, like visibly swollen up after leaving the station. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it. I'll check it out. Most definitely. Oh, and then you guys, there was also a portion in this 60 minutes where the interviewer, I wish I should have wrote down his name because I hate just saying like the interviewer, but he was bringing up, well, he did spotlight, which was a good question. What impact has, you know, all this, the court cases and everything had on your you being, wait, it wasn't one. Oh, I didn't know you said that he said that? Ed Bradley. All right. Thanks, Samir. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Samir Ibram. Thank you. Okay, Bradley. Ed Bradley. That way I can stop saying, oh, wow. I didn't know he said that. Well, he was definitely being honest because those, you know, I don't know if later MJ sued and was awarded anything or if it was just completely dismissed. But like I say, the time that he did this interview was no more than about a week or two from being processed, you know, fingerprinted and all that stuff. And the pictures from that were rough. They were really, you know, it wasn't just like a little, you know, dark spot, like, oh, he was bruised. Like, no, like they roughed him up. And, you know, the media, a lot of stuff, it has been a witch hunt on MJ, and he was incredibly mentally and physically tough to endure a lot of that stuff and just keep going and just keep going and keep going. But I did notice a portion in the interview. Yep. And you guys check out these good comments. Jay, Samir, Riker. Excellent. November 20th. Okay. November 20th. So, okay. So that's about what? 3 weeks maybe? So he's taken into custody on November 20th, Christmas Day. Okay. Well, actually. Okay. Well, still recently, but thanks for that. I didn't know that it was November 20th. So there's a lot of good details that are thrown into the chat to you guys. So do check this out for those of you guys that, you know, check this out later. Check it out later. Do subscribe and hit the bell, but definitely read all this good information, good details that are being shared in the chat down below. So Samir was saying that it was actually November 20th that MJ was taken into custody. And he was, yeah, treated very brutally. Yep. Really rough. And then just the on top of like being beyond manhandled, because to me manhandled is like, oh, you're a little rough, but no, like that's like rough, and he was roughed up and then just bullied. Okay, I'm guessing they already kind of had the bathroom prepped because for however long the intake takes, I guess it's estimated or is guessed that someone eventually will have to use the restroom. And I can't see them just having a restroom at the station that was that gross. And so I'm guessing that they prepped it for MJ by having it so disgusting. And because at one point MJ says that, you know, one of the officers, he could see through the window or whatever, or yelled something through the window saying like, you know, does it smell good enough for you? And MJ said that he just said, oh, I'm all right. It's all right. And he said that what was done to him was done to humiliate him, to break him, and through it, you know, just bless his heart. That's all I can say. Just bless him. But there was a portion in the interview that I noticed. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, it could have been, you know, that they kept it that nasty, but I don't think so. I think that it was prepped. Yeah, I would think so too. I would think so too, Jay. It was messed up. But what was I saying? Oh, but there was a portion in the interview when Ed Bradley, right? I didn't say the interviewer, but Ed Bradley had asked MJ, like, you know, so how has this affected your record sales? Like, you know, I know your record sales have probably taken a 45 minutes. Yep, with feces in the bathroom. It was sad. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that just hearing that, like, that's horrible. Horrible. and just shows how mentally tough he is. Because when they pulled me out, I would have been crying and I would have been just, mentally just torn up from that. That's horrible. But MJ, and to me, this just shows how much he loved being an entertainer and how much he loved his fans, and the fact that it did affect his record sales in the United States. To me, and this was just my perception of it, when Ed Bradley had asked him, like, okay, well, how has all this controversy, how has the court cases and everything affected, your record sales? And MJ said, well, it's number one or whatever around the world. And Ed Bradley just kind of looks at him and he's like, everywhere but here in the United States, and here in the, but when he said that, Ed Bradley asked him some kind of additional question, but you could just see that MJ was upset about it. You could see that he seemed not just upset, but like hurt, which makes sense. Like, the U.S., we're the ones that built him up, right? And we love you, MJ, right? Built him up, and then only for things to turn into like a witch hunt, for things to, for the same ones that to build you up to want to tear you down. Still loved around the world, other countries in the world, but the country, like that's messed up. And to me, that was just my perception of it. He seemed a little visibly saddened, and he did say, he was like, I'm hurt right now. I'm hurt. I'm in a lot of pain. But to me, it was like the physical pain, because he said that his shoulder had been dislocated in that whole intake processing process with the police. But then also, and he had this issue, still in pain, I'm sure, with the bruises and stuff. But to me, when he said that, the way I took it was he was in physical pain, and then he was also emotionally like pained from that. That was my perception on it. Oh yeah. Yes, the whole Tommy Mottola. um yes. Which, again, like I say, you guys, please do yourself a service by reading the comments in the chat. A lot of good information shared, you guys. But yeah, like Jay is highlighting MJ being up against Sony, and it's just a lot of conspiracy stuff, but it's real stuff, and then Samir is saying he saw it. Really? I'm reading your comment. I'm sorry it takes me so long, Samir. I don't know if you're this is your first time joining the chat, but usually it takes me a while. I have the I should have on glasses, and I have the fluorescent light, so sometimes I've tried to read through here. Hey there, Cedric. All right, he brought popcorn. But I'm trying to read through there. So you said that you saw the Barbara Walters interview where Jackie and Jermaine were talking about how the allegations and all went through the hurting their mom. I'm sure it was. And the part to me that really sucks, and then Jay left a comment too. Okay. So Jay was saying that it was a witch hunt, and that they were after the ATV catalog MJ purchased back in '85. Yes, and is that the Beatles catalog? Because I heard, off the top. Oh, it makes me want to break out into song. I never can. I'm sorry, never can say goodbye. Even though one of these days, you guys, I'm gonna karaoke. I'm gonna do it. I will warn you guys before I wind up doing it. But yeah, you guys are bringing up some really good points. But to go back to Samir's point, I could believe that. I'm sure that if I read it correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. You were saying that MJ's mom was saying how she actually regretted his success, with all that it had come with, which I would get that. I would get that, because it kind of reminds me in a weird way. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing your comments. Yeah, I have to check that out, Samir. I'm gonna check it out. But it kind of reminds me of that one movie. What's it called? I don't know if it was called Needful Things or Possessions or something. But all I know is the guy who played the devil in that also had played like Jesus Christ in the 1960s or 50s or whenever that it came out. Really? Again, Jay is sharing some really good information. I didn't know that. Whoa. I thought it was just Beatles stuff. Okay. Yeah, and when you try to change, you start coming in where you're really like revolutionizing a lot of like, yeah. I believe that. I believe that because they say that he feared what kind of eventually kind of came to pass. But conspiracies around that. But I'm willing to side with what you just wrote, Jay. That would sound about right. That would sound about right to me. Just really sad. Really sad. But to kind of circle back to Samir's comment about the mom regretting his success because all of kind of, what came with it. Like I say, it kind of reminds me of that one movie that I saw one time, long time ago, but it was called like Needful Things or Possessions or something like that. But anyway, it's weird because the guy who plays the devil that came into the town and opened up shop also played like he played Jesus in the 50s or whenever, 60s or whenever the Greatest Story Ever Told came out. It's the same actor. But the point is that supposedly like he comes in and he gives people what they want, but it's to a degree that they wouldn't want it. And MJ's success, like he reached the pinnacle of success. He shared his talents. I think for one that he was just a prodigy, he was. He shared his talents with the world. And still, I don't think there's any artist that has come along, even though people want to say, oh, so-and-so is just as talented or whatever, but I don't think there's any artist that has come along to reach MJ's level of talent and reach, but okay, so he reached this status of fame, music, beautiful music that he's put out that has been just loved, eaten up by people that don't even speak the English language, like that type of impact. But he had to live in a fishbowl. You know what I mean? Like he could have all these different things, but things had to be shut down. So he's always alone. He's always isolated. People that are smiling, everybody has something to gain. People trying to build up their careers or, the I turns into a we, like just horrible. Yeah, and he was very smart. He was an extremely smart, very savvy businessman, very shrewd. A lot of people didn't give MJ that kind of credit. I don't know why not, but he was no dummy. I believe they feared him, yeah. Yeah, he was making powerful moves. And, a lot of times with that does come other worries and concerns for good reason. Yes, I believe that. Yeah, so true. So true. So true. Yeah, you're right. No, he couldn't go anywhere outside of those gates. And people acted, well, maybe people really didn't get it. And maybe they didn't get it because of one-sided media that they were taking in. I don't know. But to me, it seemed like, I don't blame him. Like he had to create his own world behind the gates of Neverland. And just so that he could be free to enjoy and do things without the press, the media, and people running to run up. Oh, let me have your autograph. Let me take, like he just could not be. And it's sad. Like I have seen a lot of footage where they showed MJ that he liked antiques, and he liked to, do his little shopping, but he was always alone. Even though he had like his bodyguards and all of that, they have to shut down shops. And then even still, so the moment he steps out, is crowds of every, people, oh, MJ, man, look, it's just sad that he didn't, like I say, it just reminds me of that movie. It reminds me of that movie. Oh, I believe it. Yeah, his impact is just, I'm sure she teared up like, wow. Like, yeah, he had a huge impact. Yep. Yeah, and no, he didn't know who to trust toward the end. He really, I could imagine, like, just, celebrities in general, uh, and I'm not even talking about like mega celebs, but yeah, okay, was it in the private home video? And I've seen that, and that was part of too what I think you mentioned. Samir just mentioned it, the 2003 private home movies. But is that part of that commemorated, MJ commemorated, Jay, what Samir is talking about? But just to say, like celebrities that, okay, MJ in and of itself, he was in his own stratosphere of fame. Like there are very few individuals that could identify with his level of fame. Princess Diana, she probably, to get that amount of coverage, her and, maybe Elvis at the time. Other than that, not too many celebs were within that stratosphere of fame. Okay. My bad. See, I told y'all I'm not an expert. I was just wondering. Thanks, Jay. Okay. Yeah, he did. He was always humble. Always humble. Even in this interview, even the way he talked about his accuser, still very humble, still very, just to show love. Like, wow. That's all I can say. Okay, maybe not. Samir said Elvis was nowhere near his fame. Well, I agree with you, but I'm just mean for that period of time, for that decade. Like, at least those are the comparisons I've always heard to MJ's stratosphere of fame was Princess Diana and Elvis. But you might very well be right because, like I say, you could probably go anywhere in the world and find an MJ impersonator. I don't know, Elvis here in the US, yeah. I don't know abroad though. Right, okay. But I was just saying that I believe he probably didn't know who to trust, and with good reason. And I was just saying, putting it, okay, Cedric. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, meditation is, I try to here and there when I can. But what was I saying? Oh, I was just saying that, just in general, even when MJ, in my opinion, and I'm not going to say who, even on one of MJ's, because I did watch some of the commemorated, I actually have some of that on my channel. I didn't know the name of that. Okay, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying like the comparisons that I've heard on the level of coverage. But yeah, I agree because I don't think, outside of the US, were there Elvis impersonators in, India or wherever, in Africa and like literally anywhere on the globe, people will know the name of MJ. Many of them will sing songs, even if it's in a different language, which it was, English language. Even if they spoke a different language, they could sing the lyrics to a MJ song. or, you know, like, so to me, I agree. But I was just trying to say that there aren't too many celebs that could identify with that, you know, that bubble of fame that MJ was wrapped in. And it's just sad because his talent, his fame, all of that came with the price. And just very isolated, you know, just sad how he was treated. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's I like how you put that. But yeah. All right. Yep. Jay. I'm not trying to be funny, Samir. I'm not trying to be funny, but you feel me though, right? I mean, like in anywhere, China, India, wherever, you could find a Michael Jackson impersonator. Could you find an Elvis? I mean, now, you know, in the US probably, and I'm not trying to diminish, you know, people that are Elvis Presley fans or anything like that at all. But I'm just saying that, you know, it's not the same, but those are the comparisons that I've heard in terms of celebs that received as much coverage as MJ. So I don't know, but I was just saying that, yeah, his fame, his talent, definitely blessed the world with his music, right? We're still enjoying his music now. Right. I would agree, Jay. Yeah, I would agree. That's funny. But yeah, I just think, like I say, through it all, MJ was incredibly mentally tough, physically tough, really did not have the option like most people, like, you know, not just celebrities, but most adults, or just people have that moment of deciding like, okay, this is my career path. This is what I want to do. He was just born and groomed into it and was a prodigy anyway, and just, you know, blessed the entire globe with his music, his talent, you know, and like I said, he was no dummy. He was a brilliant businessman. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yes, he did say that for those of you all who have not seen this 60 minutes for those of you all who have not seen the 60 minutes interview, MJ does say that Have You Seen My Childhood? The Childhood sung by him is probably one of the most honest and autobiographical songs that he's ever written. So I would definitely take a listen. And like I say, also check out this interview if you guys have not seen it yet. Yeah, he was extremely gifted. He was a gifted prodigy. Just, you know, oh no. Sorry, you guys, it said low battery. But yeah, I don't know what else. But you guys, thank you guys so much. I don't know if I just froze. If I froze in the middle of it, but it's because my phone right now, you guys know I do this from my mobile. But it was showing that I have a low battery. But what else? Anything else that I'm missing before we get off of this subject? But this is like, but I just want to say this. Okay, thanks, Jay. I just want to say this. If you guys have not checked this out, do check it out. If you have not seen it, do not feel bad because, you know, prior to Jay suggesting this interview, I had not seen this interview with MJ. I just think that it sucks that this took place in 2003 when everything else, but at the time the media could spotlight and really promote what they wanted people to hear. Right. Oh, yes. It's definitely, I actually have some footage from there because that's the one where he's sitting in the movie theater and he's showing his home movies. Right, Jay? And it's really good because it really is another one that, you know, very rarely was MJ able to show the real him. And I thought that the commemorated one, still moving through it, but from what I saw, it was nice because he was able to really kind of show the real him and people that he considered to be real friends to him. Oh, and you guys, let me know what you guys think about this. I don't know much about him. MJ did include him in his commemorated one, but the Brett Ratner guy, Right. Oh, okay. Oh, that's MJ private home videos. Oh, okay. My bad. All right. Well, I'm still going to check it out. Okay. I'll check it out. Raphael's channel. So apparently I got it wrong, you guys. But like I say, I'm not an expert, but I'm learning. I'm learning. But do check out Jay's comments and a lot of the good information I will be pinning too. Although I don't think I could pin it in chats, but too, if there's anything, Samir, Jay, Riker, any good information that you guys want me to potentially pin in the comments, let me know. I can't do it from the live chat. Like even on the replay, I don't see the option to pin any comments because it's kind of like the flow of the video. But you guys should definitely read the comments. A lot of good information shared. Like I say, I'm learning. I got the two. Sounds good. I got the two wrong, the home videos from the commemorated one, but it's all good. I know, like that is something like, I don't know if you guys have ever, I would wonder what he would be thinking too. Because I don't know if you guys have ever like looked at, I don't know, pictures of yourself or video of yourself, like maybe years back, even when like maybe, like your younger self and, like, I don't know, like you look back and what would you tell you? Like it's going to be all right. Like you might be, you're going to go through some difficult times, but you're going to be all good. Like, I don't know. That's a good question that Riker just kind of posed there. I wonder too. I don't know. Oh, really quick, you guys. I'm gonna let you guys go because I don't want the phone to cut out. That'd be a horrible way to end such a great live. But what do you guys think? You all are my experts. All of you, Jay, Samir, Riker, all of you guys. Do you all know much about this Brett Ratner guy that was MJ's friend? Are you guys familiar? Well, he's in the, I guess that's MJ's home movies, not commemorated, but he's in the home movies. And MJ mentioned him or had him posted as like, one of his few real friends. And maybe he was. Okay. Okay, so the only reason why I'm asking this, I'll love you back, Cedric. Okay, the reason why I'm asking this, you guys, is because there was an excellent interview that MJ did with this Brett Ratner. But the only thing that I didn't like about it, and I posted it, but I put like a disclaimer up. Okay, no, it was like it's on my. I did a short of it, and then I also have the video, if I'm not mistaken, on my channel. But you guys could actually probably type up, damn it, what's the keywords? Well, just type up Brett Ratner, Michael Jackson interview. But the thing is, through it, it's an excellent interview that I think MJ would have been proud of. Like he wasn't shown in any bad light, like it wasn't like one of those like where questions are leading just to, throw somebody off and stuff. It was excellent. MJ answered the question so sincerely. The only thing I did not like about it was that, at least from my perspective, you could tell MJ wasn't aware that he was being taped. That I didn't like. Because I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy that's, he's obviously MJ feels extremely comfortable with him. But you could tell he like, Brett or whoever must have had a phone out or something that MJ was not aware of. You could tell. Right, yeah, it's in black and white. Okay, so Jay, so you saw it. So that's the only part I didn't like. So it kind of made me question, and then I did see some footage of them together. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not knocking it because truth be told, whether, I'm questioning the level of his sincerity or not. Okay, and if he was recording, cool, but let MJ know that he's being recorded. That's just how I personally feel. There's nothing wrong with, if somebody wants to like document everything, but if you want to document everything, let somebody know when they're being documented. That's just how I feel. I'm not saying that he wasn't a good or excellent friend to MJ. If MJ considered him a true blue, then, I don't know. I suppose that he was, but I did not like that. Yeah, maybe he didn't mind, but in that video, Jay was just saying that they went on vacations together and hung out a lot together, and Brett was always recording, and probably so. And I'm not trying to like make it seem like Brett was not a good friend to MJ, because if MJ considered him to be that, then he was. And I don't even care if, let's just say, even if Brett did have motives or whatever, this is how I personally feel. If somebody takes away something from a connection, like let's take MJ out of it, take Brett out of it. Like, let's just say like two people that are friends or a relationship or whatever. People are going to have different perceptions of like the same incident, right? Or take away different takes on an experience. So regardless of, whatever someone's question, sincerity or whatever, if somebody steps away from it feeling like they had a great experience or they were happy with that connection, that's really all that matters. But I was just questioning, okay, good. So Jay, you do see from my perspective, I just felt like, I'm sure maybe he didn't let MJ know because he wanted MJ just to be, comfortable, and maybe, who knows, maybe he let MJ know after the fact that he recorded it and maybe he got MJ's approval. I just didn't like that it appeared, at least, that MJ was not aware that he was being taped. That I didn't like. Okay, good. That's good. Jay was just saying that he did his research and that the Brett guy doesn't like overly publicize the fact that he was MJ's friend. And like I said, yeah. So this, and again, this is just my outside perspective, but that's good to hear. So, okay, I'm glad you guys, kind of briefed me on that, because I was wondering, I'm like, MJ considers him to be a friend. If that was an excellent interview, but I did not like it. I even wrote it as a disclaimer when I uploaded that video that, I think this is an excellent video. Please check it out. However, disclaimer, I do not like the fact that MJ does not appear to be aware that he's being taped. That I don't like. But who knows? Like Jay was saying, he did his research. The guy seems to be, like a sincere, like true blue to MJ and doesn't even boast, and try to overly publicize the fact that he was close friends with MJ. So that's good. That's good to know. Just wondering. All right, you guys, thank you so much for making my live with all your great comments and information. And like I say, for those that are not catching this live and catching this later, please read the live chat. You'll be so happy you did. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I still got to do my research. You guys, like I say, I'm not an expert. I actually rely on a lot of you guys for, leading me in the right direction or telling me to check this out or read that or just reference stuff. So I don't know. But I do know that MJ was screwed by a lot of supposed sincere people that, are just messed up. Yes, I you know what? I think me and MJ would be besties too. I do too. I agree with you, Roger. You probably would be good friends with him. Yeah, but I guess that's just kind of, what comes along with that level of fame. I just hate that he spent so much of his life like isolated. Like people are like, he's not normal. Why does he should be, act normal? He doesn't act. Well, heck, if, and that to me, normal is relative. But if MJ did not act normal, hell, should he have acted normal? Did he live a normal life? Could he do normal things? Could he, like, come on. Like, they want to make a big deal about Neverland. Why would you have an amusement park? Why would, like, could he go to a normal amusement park? I don't think so. That's right. Sing it, Cedric. Yeah, but, like, come on. I just think that that's so silly. And lastly, my last little point is that in this interview, the 60 Minutes interview, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to keep you guys. But in the 60 Minutes interview, the guy, Ed, what did you say his last name was, Samir? Yeah, I know. That's like, just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Yeah. Bradley. Thanks, Jay. So for the Ed Bradley guy, he did ask MJ, which was, I think, a good question, because I think a lot of people thought that. And I know back in the day, like I say, I never believed MJ to be guilty of a lot of that stuff. But I did wonder, I'm like, he should just keep the kids away because, like, he gets taken advantage of, witch hunts and stuff every time a kid comes near. Like, he should just stay away, like, keep him away with a 10-foot pole. But if you guys get an opportunity to watch the footage that you weren't meant to see, the, what's his name? Bashir interview, then you guys will actually be able to see. And then for me, when I saw it, it clicked. I'm like, well, no wonder MJ would refuse to stop allowing kids to come into Neverland and all that, because you were able to see firsthand the impact, the positive impact that Neverland had on children. And the media seemed to always spotlight his relationship with boys and Caucasian little boys. And, like he had busloads and loads of children come in from all different backgrounds, all different races, some from the inner city, some from Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they weren't all sleeping over his house. It was like a field trip type of scenario where they were able to enjoy the day and be around a super mega celebrity. Wow, like what a positive impact that had to have been on the kids, and just enjoy the day. And I think for MJ, knowing the positive that he was doing maybe in a lot of ways outweighed the potential negative of having those interactions. That's just what I think. But it clicked. I'm like, well, no wonder. But it's, again, because media tends to be so one-sided, and especially back then because it wasn't as many platforms and outlets to take in info, that, people did automatically, condemn him before anything. Just, they just already kind of made up their minds. So, but yeah, that was my little take on it. I know, I wonder too. There's probably if we Googled it. Thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate you, and I appreciate you, Riker, and everybody, Cedric, everybody, for making this live and helping me out with a lot of the information, because a lot of this stuff, like I say, I didn't know. I just didn't know it. But yeah, really good, and I'm so glad too that you suggested this, Jay, because this was one that I had not seen. And I think a lot of people, even MJ fans, may not have seen this. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of things that should have been shared, that should have been made knowledgeable to all, was really kind of just brushed under the rug and not made to shine like Bashir's interview was. So that sucks. But thank you guys so much. Again, join me next time. I plan to be on here tomorrow, but I'm not going to give a specific time because I don't seem to do too well with that. But I do plan to be back tomorrow, you guys. Thank you so much. And you guys were super informative too. And like I say, you guys check out the live chat for all this good information that was shared. That's good. That's good. You take it all in, right, Jay? No. What did she say? I hope it was positive. What'd she say, Jay? Jay was just asking, did I hear about what Brooke Shields what she had to say about MJ? I'm just dying to know now. But yeah, I think it's good, Jay, that you take it all in. All right, see you later. All right. She say Space Jam 4 forever. I love it. That's right, Jay. See you. Bye. I'm not Jay. Cedric. See you, Cedric. And he did. Oh, wow. Talk about a stab in the back. Really? I hate to hear that. I'm going to check it out. Oh, sorry. That's my phone doing the thing. Letting me know that my phone's about to die. Oh, wow. You know, Lisa Marie Presley kind of did a similar thing in one of her interviews where, I mean, I don't know if it was just her not being really articulate in how she was describing it, but she was just like, oh yeah, he has a way of pulling you in, and I didn't know that once I married him, I would be considered a freak. Like, really? Or is that how we're talking about MJ? I know, right? That was true portrayal. That's too bad. See, he had very few true blues, very few. Like a lot of people, you know, they're around you, they love you when it's convenient, and oh, you're the best, and you know, oh, look what we've done, look what we're, you know, and then when it's not so convenient, you know, a lot of people want to throw you the deuces, and they want to condemn you, and you know, like, oh, I was around him, but you know, even like I say, the way that, and I'm not trying to smear her memory at all either, but even the way that Lisa Marie Presley, the interview that I saw, it sounded like she was insinuating like, oh, you know, MJ, he just has a way of pulling you in, and I felt like, you know, he had a way of making me feel like he needed my help, and you know, like basically like saying like I went along with it, I dated him, I married him, but it was because, you know, rather than just sticking to it, and you know, it's what it is. Yeah, I would have too, Riker. Yeah, she was an opportunist, and a lot of, like I say, even on like a non MJ fame level, there's a lot of celebrities, people of power, people that they have to worry about like who's true, who's not. But I always say, you know, it's the harder times, the rougher times that really kind of let you know who's who. You know, when they're still around, when they're still, um, you know, connecting themselves with you. Yeah, no, I don't think MJ was that kind of guy either. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Very few people, that's why I say not necessarily did somebody have to show up to trial to prove that they were a friend to MJ, but you know, it's the times where it's not so convenient to be associated with MJ. It's not, you know, so convenient to say like, oh yeah, that's my friend, and you know, I enjoy being around him, we have fun, we do da da da. And if those people are still talking that way, even when it's not the most convenient, like when he was going through trial and Chris Tucker testified on his behalf, Macaulay Culkin did, Kathy Hilton did. Those were times where their own, you know, social image, their own popularity could have taken a dive just by standing by him and testifying. Yeah, so true. Good point, Riker. And yeah, that is a fact. Jay, you're right. You're so right. But yeah, so I really, really enjoyed this live, you guys. such good, like I say, such good comments that were left and a lot of good information. I am seriously encouraging anybody who checks this out after the fact, what are you waiting for? Go through the live chat. It's a lot of good information shared. Subscribe, hit the bell. Yes. Thank you so much, Jay. Well, it was a win because you guys were part of it. Yes, I have to agree. You guys brought all the good vibes. And I'm so glad you gave me the heads up on this content to cover too. But like I say, a little sad, but it's what it is. MJ didn't just come with like everything was all great. You know, he had high moments, but a lot of MJ, like if you're a true MJ fan, you know wasn't just coming up roses for MJ. He had a lot of difficult, really challenging times. And that was just, you know, what he had to deal with and what he had to deal with at the time and dealt with it very eloquently, very classy. What can I say? Yep, so true. Very human. Yep, very human with the trials and tribulations. So I'm going to conclude this live, but I'm going to do it the way I always do. For those of you guys who are not subscribed, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much, Samir, Cedric, and Riker. Thank you so much. You guys left excellent comments. Yeah, I know, but it was, you know, yeah, he had the opportunity, fairy tale. He had the opportunity that a lot of people, you know, average person doesn't have to do this and do that. But his stuff definitely came with a heavy price. And it wasn't so fairy tale. You know what I mean? Like it was a fairy tale, but it was not a fairy tale that most would probably, you know, not have wanted for themselves. Oh, God bless you too, Jay. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. You guys are so wonderful. And I got to do my last little, how to do my little turnaround. I got to escape. And I know Jay, Riker, all you guys already know what I'm about to do. But this is for those of you guys who are not subscribed or just new to my channel. You guys can also check out my website, LilahMichelle.com. On there, it's a nice little mix of things. You guys can always navigate this menu bar. However, if you want to just kind of peruse through the site, let me move this over. If you want to peruse through the site, I do have merch. I have a lot of MJ merch, but I do have like other celebrity and entertainment related content through the merch. But this is also in the process of being refreshed with newer stuff. But wait, I just want to show you guys something really quick. If my computer wasn't slow, what's going on? But yeah, there is some cool MJ stuff on here, which I really like this one. I like the mug too with the, but yeah, I think this is cute. You can get it in pink, yellow, or you could get it in the classic red color. But okay, not to digress too far off. But anyway, you can check out my media links. I do have a TikTok. Please check it out while it's still up. It's under Lilah Michelle. I have MJ content on there, but I also cover other celebrities, other entertainers, and entertainment. However, a lot of it is connected some way, shape, or form with MJ. But yeah, you guys can check me out on Instagram as well. It's not a whole lot of content up there, but your girl is in the process of becoming more regular with it. But yeah, check me out over there. And then you guys can also hit the contact. There you go. And then this is another way to get in contact with me under LilahMichelle3@gmail.com. Anything business related, please feel free. I check it all the time, literally. And if you guys want to do it this way, this is still going to hit my LilahMichelle.com. If you want to leave me a little message, or you just want to subscribe and just be on top of any new content that's uploaded, or, you know, new merch, whatever, you could do that through this. And then lastly, my TikTok, y'all. my TikTok that I was just telling you guys about, just showing you guys that you can follow me there as well. But I had so much fun. Oh, I hope my back is not out. I hope you guys can't see my. Okay, but but I had so much fun on this live. Thank you so much. Like I say, to all of you that made this live, and you know who you are, already gave you guys the shots out. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for tuning in. I will see